tragedies in almost 2 decades when at least 43 people were killed and several others injured in North Delhi's Anaj Mandi on Sunday morning. Now, initial inquiries point out to many glaring negligencies such as locked escape routes, no fire safety equipment and no fire safety clearance from the authorities. Rescue operations were also hampered due to narrow lanes. This tragedy has once again brought in focus the fire safety norms in India and to what extent are they being adhered to. For more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of guests in the studio today. Let me first introduce the guest to you, beginning with Dr. Sanjay Kumar Tomar. He is Divisional Officer, Delhi Fire Service. We also have with us Dr. Naveen Kumar Bhatnagar, the ex-DIG of NDRF, and Mr. R.G. Gupta, City and Policy Planner, is also with us here in the studio. Let me begin with you, Dr. Sanjay Tomar, and let's first begin by trying to understand what are the various fire safety norms which we have in India, and then we'll come to the other aspect of whether most of us are adhering to that or not.
See, initially the fire services were a municipal subject. You know, at different points of time, different laws were enacted and implemented. In Delhi, as for example, the first Fire Prevention Act was implemented in the year 1986. But the buildings were existing, which were more than 15 meters in height. And after the Gopala incident fire, where we lost our one officer, this act was enacted. But this act, any act, fire act, is being implemented prospectively. It cannot be implemented retrospectively.
Okay.
This is the first problem. Another problem is that the buildings which are existing, you cannot implement the new law on those buildings.
Okay.
As far as residential buildings are concerned, most of the casualties in Delhi are happening in those residential buildings which are not covered by any law.
Okay.
Only buildings which are having height more than 15 meters and special occupancies which are now covered are not being covered earlier. So you cannot implement new laws in older buildings.
Okay, so you mean to say that, you know, the older buildings are the ones which are and obviously they're more at risk because their entire structure is old enough, and you know there are no norms which would have been followed when the building would have been made specifically from this perspective. But also the interesting fact out here is that congestion and the way the cities are both expanding and the number of people there. And this is one of the reasons in the recent case as well, wherein although there were more than a dozen fire tenders at the location, only one could reach the particular building.
So in this congested area, like special areas like Karol Bagh, Sadar Bazaar and Old Delhi, we saw these problems. But the problem also lies in the expansion. As you said, the expansion of the city is happening. We are going up and up, and we are horizontally also expanding. But the norms which are supposed to be there are not non-existent. So, as I said earlier, that in those areas there is a protection of law.
Okay.
So you cannot implement and go there, that building which is more than 100 years old, that this is the law now and you have to implement that. That
Okay.
only Delhi Fire Service Act came into existence in the year 2007 and the rules was enforced in the year 2010. Now we have a mechanism now that every building which is coming up in Delhi,
Okay.
the plans should be forwarded to us from the Building Sanctioning Authority.
Okay.
And then we scrutinize the plans of the building as per the occupancies and the risk involved, and we issue fire safety guidelines to them, and after compliance of those guidelines, we conduct the inspection.
Okay.
But that mechanism cannot be implemented in the existing building. And as I said earlier, the residential building which are less than 15 meter in height, there is no rule where you can enforce that you should have a alternate exit available. In the recent day before yesterday, there was a fire, and the people are dying because there is no provision in our laws to have a alternate exit. And one that is available normally in the residential building, that is being blocked either by the parking or by the storage or you have electrical installation in that building only. So your only available means of escape is blocked by these obstructions.
Okay.
And you have a fire risk in those escape routes.
Okay.
So you have to think your exit road should be clear, number one. There should be no non-availability of any electrical installation on those exits, and your exit should be protected.
Okay. So and that also, compounds the overall problem when, you go ahead and try and rescue people in this situation. Let me bring, Dr. Bhatnagar here. Dr. Bhatnagar, there's some very interesting facts, and let me just, put them out here. According to the India Risk Survey, there's a data which says that there has been almost a 300% increase in case of fire incidents in commercial buildings between 2014 and 2015. Now, this is a data which is about 3 to 4 years old. But this also seems to clearly point out that there is an increased risk, which further increases as days or months pass by. So, in terms of the mechanism which we have, not only the norms and regulations, but in terms of mechanism, and also from the fact that how these norms are being adhered to, are they being adhered to at all, both by the owners of the commercial properties, the residential properties, or the authorities involved as well?
Not at all. Even then, the plant area, industries already having this fire license and all these things, even then they are making the negligences. Because I have personally visited and seen all the this type of cases, because lot of wire, electrical wire, they don't have the safety norm of electrical wire. So, spark, definitely spark is the main cause. Secondly, maximum industries are having the chemicals, hydrocarbon chemicals, fumes, having the dangerous fumes, poisonous fumes are coming. So, definitely if any fire comes, so definitely the maximum stampede will be there,
okay,
and your death cases will be reported. In this same case happened here due to these fumes, hydrocarbonic fumes were there. So and people were running, and people were some people became died due to the stampede, and people were not trained. If the training should be given to the people, okay, you can't stop this making the building and industries and all these things, but you should spend the money. You have, all the state governments are having enough money with them. Why you have not given the training to that particular area and people? Your MCD staff is there, daily they are visiting in that area, SHO police is there, beat constable is there. Why they are not visiting in this area? Okay. Why they have not reported all these things? You have enough money, central government is giving. Your why you have the enough staff with you, you can hire the agencies, they are able to give the training, rescue training.
Okay.
And in this case, somebody suppose died, but we have the 10 minutes with us to recoup them. They can be again alive if we have given the training as CPR.
Okay.
Some devices are there. We can, with their help, we can do it. Why they have not been given the first aid kits and all these things to the industries? Okay. You can't stop. You are taking the this license and money and all these things on the official money. Then why you are not giving for their safety? You are not giving the kits to them. I am afraid. Really, I am shocked that government is sleeping. Every government is sleeping.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So clearly, 2 points which we have understood so far here is that one, not adhering to the norms, not having proper, audits in place, proper safety equipments in place, and getting clearances, and also on top of that, no training, the basic training to deal with fire or deal with the first aid that is there. Let me bring in Mr. Gupta here. Mr. Gupta, the moot question here is, why are we in such a situation? Is it because of the faulty planning in terms of expanding our cities, or does it have to just do with the laws being adhered to by the people?
We have complete laws about the planning. Listen one by one. The first plan of Delhi was prepared in 1873, then 1914, then 1936, 1956, 1962, all the plans under the Act of 1957. If you see Delhi today, the entire area Delhi bounded by Haryana this side, UP this side, so is planned one. It has 18 main zones A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, not I, J, K1, K2, L, M, N. Complete plans are there. Now please listen to the biology about the fire. It is there, very much there.
Okay.
But somebody has to lead it. Fire post 2000 square meter. Fire station 1 hectare. Disaster management center 1 hectare. Along with suitable open area. Fire training institute 3 hectares. Where to locate? The details are given here. But somebody has to prepare the plans and do it. Please listen here. All the zonal plans are there.
Okay.
Let them see, tell this is not correct, this is correct, this is not. If correction not correct, then you do the correct, because they know much more than the planners.
Okay.
Planners naturally they will say that 2 fire stations will come 1 year, with the distance, with the roads, everything. And plans are prepared based on this one. There is not a single plan. You can tell me anyone. Maybe this particular area, it is A, means Surabaya area. But here, the provision of substation is a difficult one because the land is not there. Okay. If not there, you provide on the boundary of this one.
Okay.
C, the space is there. D, too much space is there. But somebody has to work from the fire department that please 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So the fire master plan you're talking about.
Should be there. But not, I have not seen, it is not there.
Okay.
Except zonal plan we show. You see any zonal plan, the provisions are there. The rules I have just read, all the details are here about the fire systems.
Okay.
But people don't care it.
Okay. Dr. Tomar?
He's only asking about the provisions of the fire stations in Delhi.
No, the fire master plan.
Fire master
every
plan,
city needs to have that fire master plan.
But
Yes,
we have to see the inbuilt fire systems which are available, and what is happening. No research has been conducted that why these deaths are happening, what are the occupancies, because in my personal opinion, law should be made as per the research. So no research has been put while making these bylaws, or why people are getting trapped, and what are the occupancies, what are the percentage of the occupancies in which the people are dying. So as I said earlier, that out of the total, we receive generally 29,000 plus calls annually, and the maximum number of fire calls, 38% fire calls are we are receiving in low-rise residential buildings, and 50% of the total deaths, which as per the records available with the Delhi Fire Service, are happening in the residential buildings, which we think that they are the low hazard occupancies. So my question is that we have laws for high-rise buildings, we have laws for assembly buildings, we have laws for storage and industrial buildings. Wherever we have been implementing, or we have been able to implement these laws, the number of deaths and number of fire calls is much
Has come down considerably.
Yes.
But what about the older areas, the congested areas?
The same question I am raising once again, that the existing, there is no law which can be applied retrospectively, number one, and there is no law which can regulate these are the minimum standards that you should have, because now we can see the lots of mixed occupancies are coming up. Government has allowed, there is no problem. But when you are converting a residential area into a commercial area, then risk increases manifolds.
And accordingly,
you have to
accordingly the
infrastructure has to be built up. There is no doubt that we have increased the number of fire stations, we have increased the number of manpower, and we have all the sophisticated equipments which a modern fire service should have. But despite that, in my personal opinion, the occupant of any of the occupancy or the individual has the prime responsibility to see whether in which building he is going, what are the hazards available, whether if there is one escape route is blocked, how I can use the alternate exit,
and whether it has fire safety equipment.
There is fire safety equipment comes many later, at a later stage. If we 4 people are standing here, and the only one exit which is available in front of me is blocked by fire, so where is the alternate exit? Nobody thinks.
That's the basic.
And this is the basic. We are using metro, we are increasing the risk, life risk in getting these occupancies converted into commercial. The risk to life increases manifold. say for example, we are using metro and there is a underground metro. Now that has been planned and executed in a as per the international norms. Now you can find alternate exits are available. There is a restriction on combustible material and every alternate arrangement of electricity is there.
Okay.
Non-combustible material is used in almost all the construction. When you plan a building like that, then you will not find a single source of fire incident.
Okay, so basically all norms will have to be adhered to. That's what you're saying, Mr. Gupta. I'd like to bring you on one point, specific point here, which Dr. Tomar has pointed out. Again, he's pointed out it in his first response as well. How to deal with fire situations in congested areas, the older areas, the areas which existed even before these laws or the guidelines were made in terms of fire safety norms.
Our latest master plan in 2017, the laws are like this. I just read the guidelines for locating fire station and other firefighting facilities. Number 1, location should be that fire tenders are able to reach 3 to 5 minutes. Number 2, fire station should be located at the corner plots as far as possible on main roads and women to entry.
Okay.
Underground water pipeline for the fire hydrants has to be there. All the rules are given there. But naturally, they have to say yes or no. They have to detail it out. And we will do it.
But it works both ways, Mr. Gupta. It works both ways. The occupants of that particular building, be it a commercial or a residential building, will also have to adhere to the norms. Most of the fire cases which we hear is that the occupants or the owner did not even bother to get a fire safety certificate from the agencies.
You are correct. This is not possible in a wall city, not possible in suburban area, but possible in Zone C, Zone D, Zone E, others it is possible.
Okay. Dr. Bhatnagar, your point on that, and since you brought initially the aspect of how not only the fireman, but also general people have to be trained, have to be, given that basic training. But apart from that basic training, the onus, as Dr. Tomar is pointing out, is on the authorities as well as the residents as well as the citizens to abide by the rules. So in your experience, how much of you see this thought on the citizens' part that yes, this has to be followed? Fire safety, how much is it? Is it on the top priority agenda of everybody, or is it only when we read or hear about a fire then we get concerned about it?
Yeah, in this case, Azadpur case, you see people have complained so many times to the police, to the MCD, to the other authorities also, but nobody is taken the pain to visit their area and to see that how this type of industries are going on. And really, I'm surprised why the agencies were sleeping after making this complaint by the residents. So today in the morning on the TV show, people were crying that we have written so many complaints and all these things that this type of industries are going on. No such thing is going on. Wires are like in haphazard manner. So, but nobody taken pain. Nobody, even the MLA of that area, it was the prime duty of that MLA to look after these things.
But so, if we come to the common citizens, those who are the owners of such industrial buildings, the onus lies on them as well. And as Dr. Tomar is pointing out, in most of the cases, either the escape routes are blocked or there is no fire safety equipment out there, and obviously those who are staying there or sleeping there are not trained, and then there is no fire safety clearance as well. So the onus lies there as well, in addition to the authorities. Yes, authorities are responsible to go ahead and ensure. Isn't that, Mr. Bhatnagar?
Definitely stern action should be taken against the authorities. On the national television I am telling this thing, not first time, in so many time I told. If you will take the stern action this time, then you will see the result will come. Definitely next time it will not happen like that.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Gupta.
So I can help in the preparation of plans, 18 journal plans of the fire departments. I can help, no problem.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Tomar.
Sir, fire safety certificate is not a guarantee that fire will not happen, number 1. Number 2, the inbuilt system, whatever been provided, it is the first duty of the occupant or the owner of that building or occupancy that you have to operate. Suppose in this room there is a fire and fire extinguisher is there and nobody is operating that fire extinguisher, then what is the use of providing that fire extinguisher?
Okay.
So in any case, the fire services can check the provisions of the firefighting system which are required as per the law, number one. Number two, they can check randomly and after the expiry of the fire safety certificate for renewal only. And that fire safety certificate does not guarantee you, but it is the responsibility of the owner that you have to maintain those systems, and one should operate those fire extinguishers or the firefighting system, that they should work.
When you say that there has to be regular checks as well and all that, are you talking about the fire safety audit here? And if you are, then what are the norms for fire safety audits are being conducted, and how often are they conducted, or are they conducted at all?
So in Delhi Fire Service Act, there is a provision. There is a Rule 27 which stipulates the building which require fire safety clearance from the fire service department, and as per the provisions of the act, the building plans should be referred to the fire department for scrutiny, and after scrutiny we recommend that, see, this building for this particular occupancy you require detection system, fire exits and other extinguishing system. And then after compliance of the building, once the building is made and all the systems have been put to work, we check their operability, and once the system is checked, then we issue them fire safety certificate which is valid for 3 years.
Okay.
And renewal is due after 3 years.
And what about the vulnerability analysis or the fire safety audit, which I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Giving certificate is one part, but auditing the entire process, the certificates have been given, or whether the equipment which is there, is it still functioning, or are these people adhering to, maybe the escape route was made when, you guys gave a fire safety certificate to a particular building, but 6 months down the line, maybe the escape route has been blocked. So how do we, keep that in check?
Generally, that is being done on getting a complaint or from the anybody, or due to the staff constraint, and that is generally being done on getting a complaint, or whether we random go inside any building and we find if there is a fire and system is not working, then we cancel that fire safety certificate issued to that occupancy.
Okay.
But
So,
what about the illegal these structures?
That is
illegal this area.
illegal
and the
construction
building.
is
well,
not
obviously,
in
that
the
is there,
domain of
that
the
is
Delhi
there,
Fire
which is a very
Service.
important
It's
part.
my
And then the last one, I would like to bring Mr. Gupta there on that. All norms are being applied, and they're being fulfilled as well. For example, let's assume for a minute that the authorities are diligently going ahead and doing their duty. The citizens are also going ahead and doing their duty, getting all these fire safety certificates, putting all the equipments in place as well. But then how do we deal with situations like, as I said earlier, in areas which are either congested because of the older constructions, or they become so because of the illegal constructions?
Congested, we can't do anything, A and A. But for other area, let us prepare the plans of all the fire services, and then we start and proceed further. I can help prepare the plans.
Okay. Okay. On the last question, Dr. Tomar, and then this is on the training part, since it's very important, as Dr. Bhatnagar also pointed out. It's quite important for the common people, for the citizens to know as to what to do in case of a fire. So how far are we able to do that? Are you as a fireman satisfied with the kind of training common people are given?
No, we have to make this a compulsory subject in the education system, because whenever I go to training, I see that the people's awareness in fire safety is negligible.
Okay.
So many qualified persons are not having a basic knowledge of the in fire system or fire safety. So I must share with you that the awareness or training program must be given at a education level, starting either after primary, or it must be made essential to everyone.
Already it is there. Orders are there. Training is going on in the schools and all this thing. Or Disaster Management Act and Policy 2009. Very much it is clearly indicated. It is mandate for everybody to conduct the training of this fire safety. Honorable Supreme Court's order are there.
And then maybe we have to scale up on that aspect as well. So there it is. As our panelists have pointed out, there are stringent fire safety norms in existence. But what is required here is that not only do the authorities adhere to the implementation of those norms in letter and spirit, but also we, the people, that is you and me and others, who are the common citizens, they also need to go ahead and ensure that whatever building or whatever place they are in, be it commercial, industrial or residential, ensure that all fire safety norms are adhered to, and as our panelists have also pointed out, also ensure that there is basic training taken by everybody.